another step up from Hammer of the Witches. We've obviously got a very good lineup. I can't commend the guitarist and the bass player and everybody else, to be honest, more than I can. Because, it's brilliant, and you've only heard one song. We went to Czech Republic because obviously the drummer Martin and Ashok both live in the Czech Republic, so we went there for a week. We'd already collated our ideas, and that week was well spent. And then we spent more time after that, like writing the material. But it comes from saying Victoriana, which is means of Victoria. Victorian era, and Cryptoriana, obviously it was playing words, so it hints at the fact that the Victorian era was swathed in melancholia, but it was very dark and very sort of funereal, which is something obviously Cradle of Filth are all about. And bear in mind that I do live in a Victorian house, and it just seemed right because I was writing and reading a lot of ghost stories at that time. So it just felt right to come up with this ideology about the Victorian period, which is a period which is actually more rife in horror than most periods. Well, basically, I think we said in world history, it was the biggest empire that ever existed, and it shaped the entire world. But it was also based, like lower echelons, was based on horror. Like there was the penny dreadfuls, spiritualism, palmistry, an infatuation with seances, communicating with the dead, spirit photography. So there was, at that point in human history, they thought it was science, and literally the British Empire was built on this ideology of communicating with the dead. And that's what I found fascinating about it. I've been very interested in British Empire for a long time, but I really enjoyed the whole ideology about the way that people were interested in this whole communication with the dead. Well, they actually believed it was science, and I just found it very fascinating. It's part and parcel of this ideology, because you've got lots of, for example, you've got like lots of famous authors. You've got like Sweeney Todd and Jack the Ripper, and a lot of authors like Robert Louis Stevenson, and I don't know why, but it was very rife at that time for people who were very creative, and they loved their horror. And look at, for example, something along the lines of Sherlock Holmes, for example, and and lots of things along that lines. Well, the narrative, the piece is the fact that it's about someone who's fighting in the war, Crimean War, whatever. It doesn't matter what war, and he dies, and she wants to be with him again. So she tries to be with him via seance, via Ouija board, whatever. It's about loss, and the video is incredible. Well, I can't take any of the credit for that really, because I listened to Arthur, who's the video director. We gave him some ideas, but he took the lyrics and he directed the video, and he did a great job of it. And there was no CGI, and that's the whole thing about it. It's just a beautiful video. But yeah, no, I can't take any credit. I gave him some instructions. I gave him the lyrics, gave him the theme of the song, what it was about. But no, he came up with the ideology behind it, and I just went, yeah, that's good. That's good. It looked great, and it looked great when he came up with it. I was like, wow, fuck me, that's good. Yes, and that's exactly why I just went, yeah, just carry on being. We are the biggest extreme metal band on the planet. That's why. And not that I want to boast about it, we've sold 10 times more albums than anybody else. Not obviously. So maybe that's it.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's about escapism. When I was young, I jumped into heavy metal because it was just loved the whole ideology about it. I was escapism. The fact that it was, I love horror movies. I can't explain it. Well, I can explain it. I'm going to explain it now. It's about something that everyday life doesn't adhere to. It's something new and exciting and fresh, and it's kind of, it's everything everyday life isn't, and that's what attracted me to it. The first album I ever had was Ozzy Osbourne, and when I saw the picture of him dressed as a werewolf, I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is exactly what I want. This ties up not only an album, but it also ties up everything I'm watching at the moment, which was, at the time, black and white horror movies, and then Evil Dead. And I think it's escapism. At the end of the day, it's about escapism. And it's a nice escapism because it's not about, it's not about blowing people up. It's just about people, getting their rocks off. If you know what I mean. People enjoy it as escapism. There's no violence in there. Because it's down to everybody's impersonation, like interpretation. When I was young, for example, I had a different mindset of music, and I enjoyed different bands for different reasons. Like Suicidal Tendencies, for example, was one of my favourite bands. And when I think back to that particular time, it opened a whole world for me, like literally, and nobody else would understand that. No one in the world would understand it. So I lived in a village. No one would understand when I got into Possessed or Bathory, and that's what I think metal was really good about. You could not tell, you when it happened, where it happened, it just happens. It's like a vortex. Boof, there you go. It could be, I don't know, it could be some shitty band like Hallows Eve or something. But it could be, you know what I mean? It's just a feeling.